Hi guys, it's me Annie and I'm back with another video. Welcome to Annie's Creations. Today I'm in my kitchen and I'm going to be baking some homemade rusks, aka biscuit. Now this recipe is called Eat Some More Rusks because once you start eating them, you want to eat some more. This recipe has minimal ingredients, so you probably have all of these on hand already. So let's go over the basic ingredients you need and the recipe, and we can start baking. For the wet ingredients, you are going to need 500 grams of butter, very soft, nearly melted butter, 2 eggs, and 2 cups of lukewarm water. For the dry ingredients, you will be needing 1.5 kgs of self-raising flour, 2 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. And that is all you're going to need to bake this Eat Some More rusks. So let's get baking. We start by sifting the self-raising flour. This is 1.5 kgs of self-raising flour, and that's roughly 11 cups. So I'm sifting it into a very big bowl. Next, you want to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And you need 1 teaspoon of salt. One teaspoon of salt. Now you sift that on top of your self-raising flour, and then you are going to use a whisk to mix this up very well. By whisking it, you will ensure that everything is incorporated into the self-raising flour, nicely distributed. Now that these dry ingredients are mixed up, you can just put it aside. I cut 500 grams of butter into pieces so it will melt easy in the microwave. I will melt this butter up to the very soft point, not fully melted, but I want it to mix in really easy with the sugar. I placed my broken up butter into a bowl and I'm going to put it in the microwave for about a minute to become nice and soft so I can mix it in with the sugar. Measure 2 cups of sugar and then place it in a bowl. And now your butter is nice, soft and melty. You can just add it to the sugar in the bowl. Make sure to get all of the butter out into the bowl. You want 500 grams of butter. You are going to need 2 large eggs. Break that in a bowl and whisk it up. Oh, double yolker. Look at that. That's not something you see every day. That's a store-bought egg and it's a double yolker. Look at that. So whisk up your 2 large eggs. Now add the egg to the butter and sugar. And beat the egg, butter and sugar well together. Now that you have beaten the butter, sugar and egg very well, you want to add 2 cups of lukewarm water. Not hot, just lukewarm. Now that you've added your lukewarm water to the butter, egg and sugar mixture, just give it a little bit of a mix to make sure that the sugar is all dissolved into that. And you are ready to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. I am now ready to mix the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. I just add that slowly together, and now I'm going to mix it very well. I'm mixing the sifted dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, and I'm going to mix it really well to make sure that it's fully incorporated. There's no need to rush this part. You need to take your time and make sure that it's mixed really well. At this stage, you would rather want to go in with a stand mixer or use your hands. So with clean hands, I'm just going to go in and mix it as good as I can and see if that's all blended, and I'll use the spoon just to bring up any flour that's still stuck in the bottom. So with clean hands, I'm going in and I'm just squeezing the dough in between my fingers to make sure that everything gets mixed in very well. As you see, the flour tends to fall to the bottom, so bring it up and press it into the dough. Now that once you are sure that the mixture is fully incorporated and you see no more dry flour in the mixture, you are ready to transfer this to your baking pan. I've got this very large baking pan that I'm going to place the dough in and roll it flat. If you don't have one of these, you can always use a normal bread pan and roll the dough into balls separately and place them in the bread pan to bake. That also works very well, but then you have to cut them afterwards. This pan comes with this very handy dandy cutter, so I will just place the dough in the pan and then cut it before I bake it. I'm going to add some baking spray to the pan so that the dough doesn't stick. Now I'm just placing the dough onto the pan, and then I'm going to spread it out. Spread it out to all the corners because you don't want any gaps. Once I got it spread out to all the sides, I like to use my rolling pin just to even it out so it looks very nice. And this ensures that the dough is nice and even and there's no areas that stick up and get burned. Once the dough is nice and even, I use my cutter just to cut rusks from the dough. So I place it on and just press it down. Once it's cut, I just lift it slowly by the handles to take it out. You will see your rusks are cut nicely and you're ready to bake it in the oven. I'm going to bake these rusks in a preheated oven of 180 degrees Celsius. That's 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I will bake it for roughly an hour, but I will start checking it from 35 minutes just to make sure it doesn't burn. And once it's really nice and golden brown, I will take it out and do the toothpick test just to make sure that it's fully cooked. Once it's nice and brown, I will take it out of the oven and it will be ready to cut apart and place on the drying racks to dry. The rusks are nice and golden brown, so I take them out of the oven. Now I'm just going to do the toothpick test to make sure they are fully baked. I stick the toothpick into the center, and when it comes out nice and clean, I know it's done. I separate the rusks so that I can put them onto the drying racks for drying. Once you have placed all your rusks on the cooling racks, you're ready to place it in the oven for drying. I have lowered the oven to 120 degrees Celsius and I will dry these rusks for 4 to 5 hours, leaving the door up. And I'll leave the door open just a little smidgen, and I will show you how to do it. Now the rusks are in the oven. I'm going to close the door but leave this mitten in the corner to make sure the door stays open just a little fraction of a bit, so it allows more airflow to come out of the oven and it will cause the rusks to dry faster. I found that this trick really works. You can see the glove is there in the corner of the door of the oven, and it's open just a little smidge of a bit so the airflow can come out. I will leave these rusks to dry out for 4 to 5 hours on 120 degrees Celsius. So these are all the rusks I got out of this batch. It filled one big container and one smaller container, and well, my husband and son already made a dent in the smaller container. They didn't wait long, and it is truly eat some more rusks. Once you had one, you can't stop eating them. You want to eat some more. Thank you for watching my video today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you bake some eat some more rusks for your family today. This is all I've got for you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.